it's now time to put in place a base. Before I do that, I can see that that plane is still there and it's going to annoy me. So I'm going to open up my construction section here and turn that plane off. I can now close my construction section off, and I'm going to navigate to the bottom. So I'm going to basically move this guy around so I can see the bottom. I'm basically going to draw a big rectangle on the bottom. Let's just use this particular one here and draw it out so that it's bigger than this area here. Now my material is 135 millimeters wide, so I should not go any wider than 135 millimeters. In this case, I probably don't need to go anywhere near that though. So 135 millimeters, one of my lengths must be shorter than 135. So I can go basically dimension here, and this is going to be, look, it's at 100, so let's just make it at 100, and dimension this one here, and this one here is going to be at 140. It's pretty close as well. So that's going to be the size of my base. Now the easiest way to line this up with the middle is to use construction lines. So basically I'm going to turn the construction line on here. I'm going to use the line tool and I'm going to find the midpoint. So where is that midpoint, you ask? Well, if I move along, I'll see a triangle appear. That triangle is the midpoint. I'm going to click on that point there, and now it's locked to that midpoint. Now I just need to find the midpoint of this one. Once I've found the midpoint of this one and join those two together, that line is stuck on the midpoint. So if I now use the horizontal vertical tool on that particular line there, you'll notice that this now lines up with the midpoint there. We can do the same thing on this side as well. I'm going to use the line tool, L for line, making sure construction is still ready. I'm going to find the midpoint there, and now I'm just going to find the midpoint of that gear. Once again, I'm going to find the horizontal and vertical lines and line them up. And there's the base. I now just hit stop to sketch, and now I can actually modify that. You notice when I modify it, it doesn't select this little one here. I need to select them both because otherwise I'll have a strange sort of shape in there. I'm going to bring that out 12 millimeters because that's how thick our material is. And we now have the base. In fact, I've done that wrong. The easy way to fix this is to right click down here and actually edit the feature. It should have been minus 12 millimeters. I needed to go up. And it needs to be not join, but new body. Okay, so now I've got a new body called the base. That one there, so let's call it base. I've got a thing called the upright, so let's call that upright. And I've got a thing called an upright. So that's going to be upright. Oh, I didn't like that. Upright. If I press enter on that, it'll actually call it upright 1 because I've already got an upright, which is good. So now I've got my upright ready to go. My gear system looks pretty good like that. The final thing I need to do is to be able to create a crank. And there's one thing I forgot. The final thing I need to do before I create the crank is to create the joins. So let's turn the base off. We've got the base turned off. What we're going to basically do is draw some rectangles on this surface here. Those rectangles, doesn't really matter. In fact, I actually like them to be not even so that it goes around a certain way. So let's just make this, we're going to make this start from the bottom corner, and we're going to go along up 12, tab, we'll go along 30, press enter. Another rectangle over here, let's go along, let's just go along 10, and we're going to go up 12. And we'll put another rectangle in the middle. I said rectangle in the middle, about there. We're going to go up 12, and we're going to go along 20. And just to make that really nice, we're going to go a distance here, between here and here, and we'll do a distance here of 20. So that we've definitely got an odd shaped number of rectangles there. I'm going to hit stop sketch. So now I'm going to press the modify button, and I'm going to select this one, and this one, and this one, and I'm going to pull it right through, all the way through, and click on OK. We now see that I've got some sort of finger joint system happening here, and if I put that into the base, it sort of lines up that you can see them on the bottom, but they're not exactly through holes yet. So I'm going to use the modify combine. You can see yours is there. I've moved mine to the top. Modify combine, and I've got my target body is my base. My tool bodies are going to be this one and this one. My operation is going to be cut, and I want to keep those tools because I don't want to lose the uprights. I press OK, and if I turn the uprights off now, you can see that there are holes left behind where I can join those in nicely, and when you cut that body out and cut the other ones out, they will fit nicely together. Now I'm ready to go and do the crank.